Hiya, good to see everyone. Hope everyone's had their coffee. I'm Rowan Collinson, and I lead creator, editorial and audience growth for Spotify UK. And it's absolutely great to be here with all you guys talking about some really interesting things and issues that we're all facing in this kind of exciting and edifying time for us as content creators, producers and distributors. And already this morning we've heard about digital playbooks from Sidemen to Alan Titchmarsh, which are frankly two names I wasn't expecting to say in one sentence on a Monday morning. And we also heard about Justin's octopus, which I'm very, very, very excited about. This content octopus of its many tentacles. And today, I'm here to tell you, with my friend Naomi, about how the tentacle of Spotify can help your business grow and grow your video and monetize your content. So Spotify has been in the podcast game now for a decade, but in the last couple of years, video has essentially reshaped the medium. At Spotify, we work with podcasters who have brought video to their original audio, but also video-first creators who are finding new audiences. So today, I wanted to talk about the scale and size of the opportunity that is video on Spotify, how you can bring your content to the platform, how you can reach a new audience, and how you can earn additional revenue from it all. We're going to talk to Naomi Channell from Curve Media, who's going to tell you about her experience with us, and will share some of her tips on how to grow. And plus myself and the Spotify team will be around afterwards at lunch to answer any questions, so do please come and grab us. So let's start here. We've kind of seen how expectations of audio and video have converged in the last couple of years, and nowhere more has that kind of happened on Spotify. Spotify is where music, podcasts, and audiobooks and video play an integral part in over 500 million people's lives. The numbers speak for themselves, right? Over 750 million people use Spotify and enjoy music, podcasts, audiobooks, and video as part of their daily routine. And for creators and fan bases, there's simply nowhere like it. And one of the things I love working at Spotify is people are always like, when you say where you work, they're like, oh, I use that. Oh, it's brilliant. I listen to that, or I listen to that. And I love how it's kind of woven into the part of people's day, whether it's listening to a podcast on the commute, listening to music while they're doing a run, or watching something while they chill out in the evening. And we conducted some kind of research which shows like how unique it is in the market. People told us about Spotify that they really enjoy using it. Now, look, we've all been there. We've all put on our phones and then half an hour later come out of some endless doom scrolling of content and gone, oh, God, you get the ick, right? You get the ick. And rather than that, when people come and spend time with Spotify, they tell us they enjoy spending time with it. And they come out of these sessions feeling good. So for us, it's not just time well spent, it's time well spent on Spotify. And if there's one thing I want you to take away from today, it's about having your content on Spotify as a place where users want to interact with it and want to feel good about themselves. And people told us that it genuinely makes them feel better. So 78% of Gen Z users say Spotify has a positive impact on their lives. 95% of users don't regret their time spent. I think that's super important in today's kind of mad market. Part of Spotify is also how it can fit into our days, you know. When users discover their favourite shows on Spotify, they can watch or they can listen because we don't force you to choose a format. We can choose audio and video and seamlessly switch between their lives. So, for example, you can start watching a podcast in bed in the morning, switch over to audio while you're going out for your run or going off on your commute, and finish off watching it on your connected telly in the evening. We're there wherever you are in a form that you want. And how are people consuming video on Spotify? We're finding that Spotify users are consuming more video than ever before. We found that 70% of our users watch video in the foreground, meaning it's full screened with our video unlocked. And now more than nearly 400 million users have streamed a video podcast. And at the start of 2025, we launched the Spotify Podcaster program, which enables creators to monetize their content in different ways. So first up, we've got premium video revenue. which calculates how many of your premium subscribers are streaming your content. We insert programmatic ads on Spotify, then we take them out for our premium subscribers, giving you guys the money in return on a monthly basis. It's great for you because you earn money from your content, and it's great for your community and your audience because they can watch uninterrupted on Spotify. Then, of course, there's ad revenue off-platform. So we also insert ads into your episodes in other platforms and in the Spotify Audience Network. Spotify free users and listeners in another place do receive those ad breaks, and you get the money. So in addition, you guys can also bake in sponsorships and actually bake in the sponsorships and the video files into your episodes so you can continue to earn ad revenue through any existing relationships you have with brands. So 2 ways to earn through premium video ad revenue and Swedish subscribers and powered by an ad revenue powered from the Spotify Audience Network. And what we've seen this year is that when creators bring their video to Spotify, they start to win. And Naomi's going to chat a bit about her experience in a minute. But whether it's the country's biggest history podcast, a spooky comedy show, or broadcast experiment with new comedy formats, all of these are examples of video on Spotify which have seen their audience grow and revenue build over a week-on-week basis. There are now over 530,000 video shows on Spotify and so many examples of different things doing things with great success. So there's Finn versus History, a show which its creator describes as a history show for people who like history but don't actually care what happened. They launched as audio only but flipped to video and saw 150% growth within the first 3 months. There's Ghost Huns, yes, Ghost Huns, who saw 40% rise in users within 1 month of adding video. And there's Mystery Mondays, a brilliant creator called Bella Fiore, who's now making twice the amount of revenue from Spotify as she was from YouTube. But enough about them. Let's hear from someone who's a real deal, from head of Curve Media, talent and creator Naomi Channell. Hi, Naomi, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you.
Much better to have someone to talk to now, I've got to say.
You did very well.
So look, tell me a bit about you and your journey through TV into video and podcast creation.
I mean, it starts back to going to being an audience member at the Trisha Goddard show. So I didn't go to college and study TV because I didn't think I'd find many fit boys there. So I did sport instead. And I loved Trisha Goddard. My mum loved her. And I went to see her in the audience when I was 19. And I thought, in for a penny, in for a pound. Trisha, can I have a job? I like your tenacity. Sure, do you want to be a runner? And that was it. So there's no really big training. I didn't do anything. I just started as a runner. And then I self-taught the whole way. And I realised that actually the one skill that I did have was talking to people. I wasn't massively intelligent. I wasn't from a really privileged background. But what I did have was what a lot of us Essex girls have, was the gift of the gab, maybe. And so I worked my way up and then eventually landed a staff position at Curve Media as their head of talent. So being part of casting all the celebrities and on-screen talent, but also looking after all of the contributors as well. So that was lovely. And then podcasting came actually from my bedroom in Essex when my children were asleep. It's not an OnlyFans thing, just putting that out there. It was, I'm from a town called Harlow, and Harlow is home to a true crime case that's very important to a lot of us in the community. A man called Stuart Lubbock was found in Michael Barrymore's swimming pool. I'm sure many of you know that story, or think you know the story. And his father was terminally ill, and he had had a Channel 4 documentary go out. And whilst it was a brilliant documentary, it was called Barrymore, Body in the Pool. And Stuart became completely secondary to the media circus surrounding Michael Barrymore. So I spoke to Terry just before he died, and me and Stuart's ex-wife Sue decided to do a podcast. I'd never done one before. I'd listened to Serial like many other people and thought it was brilliant. And thought, well, okay, I've self-taught myself editing, casting, interviews, research. through my career, maybe I'll do this. So we put out 6 parts, and it became a massive success. I had no budget. I never budgeted. I just remained very, very true to the initial core of what I wanted to do, which was I created a show called His Name Was Stuart Lubbock, and we told the story. And I got full access to the police file, and we made an incredible series together. When that went out, people liked the fact that it wasn't sensationalist. So I was getting contacted by families of victims, of survivors of crime who wanted to tell their story, but without the Barrymore body in the pool type headline that was going to completely overshadow them. So for the last 4 years, I have had my own podcast, which is completely independent. It's nothing to do with Curve, and it's called Real, and we tell real stories. And it was during that time, lovely Rachel from Spotify got in touch and said, we can see Real is doing good numbers on Spotify. Have you ever thought about turning it into video? And of course I had, because I'm a TV producer and that feels very natural. So I convinced my bosses at Curve Media to put a little bit of money into doing 1 day a week. We will reversion an episode of Real, and we'll do it for a YouTube audience and a Spotify video audience. And the growth came almost instantly on Spotify video. I can't say the same for YouTube, and we have had phenomenal success there, but we've had very little success on YouTube. But Spotify, I think we've been going for 9 months. We're over 3 million downloads, and it's done exceptionally well, and we're very happy.
Great. I think it would be really good to actually see a little clip of the show before we move on. So let's see a clip of that.
Anthony Russell, you're under arrest for the murder of 3 people.
When police in England find 3 bodies in 3 different locations, they suspect that there's one man responsible. But can they catch him before he kills again? You're watching Totally True Crime.
Go away, so I guess you'd better.
A criminology student who studied serial killers before becoming one himself.
Well, I'm misanthropic. I don't have much time for the human race.
Known as the crossbow cannibal, the shocking truth about Stephen Griffiths will leave you speechless. You're watching Totally True Crime.
Cool. Nice one. When I first saw this, I just thought it was an incredibly smart way of doing storytelling in a different space. I mean, true crime has existed on ITV1 since time immemorial, right? But I wondered how you used your kind of television background to come up with this kind of format.
It's simplicity, actually, and we've all been in those rooms with commissioners where they will say things like, I can't commission that true crime documentary because it's not gruesome enough, or it's not got the twists and turns. That makes me feel quite sick, actually. So what we did was we thought we'll tell a story from start to finish, and we'll say the victims' names more than we'll say the protagonist's name. We'll use lovely photos. We'll pay tribute. We'll signpost to charities. We'll do it the right way. We'll do it the way that feels really authentic. So it literally became a chronological story, and what we do is we do freedom of information requests for all of the as you saw there, the arrest footage, the 999 calls. They're all in the public domain, and the rest of the footage we use either under fair use, so if it's a mugshot, for example, of the perpetrator, and we also use free to use websites like Pixabay and ArtGrid, and we build a story there. And I think what they want is quite a smooth. It's almost like going back to being a child and having your parents read you a story before bed. That's what we're trying to. I mean, these are quite dark stories before bed, but people want to learn, people want to know, and also I hope that gives a bit more depth than the headlines that you might see. But what's also really important is when a crime happens, it's in the news, and we want to find out more. But if you left that down to television commissioners, you might find out more about that in 5 years' time, when they've gone back and forth and agonised over the decision as to whether to commission it or not. With those, we do them, I'll think of it today, we could have that out in 48 hours. And so we're very reactive to true crime as it happens. And I think that could go for anything across the board, no matter what genre your passion is for your content. If you're reactive and can get the first video out there, then that's brilliant.
And I guess for a lot of people in this room, one of the kind of barriers to entry is kind of the cost. Obviously, when we're sitting in a commissioning room, we've all sat in commissioning rooms in here and come out very happy when we've got something and come out pretty fed up when we don't. Now less of those meetings are happening, and frankly, there's less money in the system. What ways have you, kind of cost-effective ways have you come across with kind of making this content?
So each episode costs less than £700 to make. So that says a lot about my rate, actually, doesn't it? But we use, like I say, we use free-to-use footage. I'm also multi-skilled, and I've learned all of that. Curve Media, I love them to pieces, and thank you for my mortgage. I know some people from Curve are here today. But essentially, actually, we have cost cut on everything because we don't need a fancy editor. No one has ever, out of the 3 million views that it's had, has ever said, "Oh, editing's a bit shoddy." So what we've done is we self-edit. I do the voiceover from my bedroom when my kids are asleep, and we do social media clips off of that. So for £700, we do put it on YouTube. We put it on Spotify video, which is why we are able to continue to grow. If we were still putting it on YouTube, we would have stopped by now because it wasn't breaking through. So Spotify video, we go on TikTok. We're nearly at monetisation on TikTok now as well, YouTube Shorts and Instagram. And that's all grown quite nicely within 9 months.
Great. So let's chat a bit more about that relationship with Spotify. I mean, how different is it compared to your experience uploading and working with other platforms?
Well, on YouTube, you have to be invited to talk to someone. So it's very different because there is never a time where I don't feel I could reach out to one of the team. And I feel like we have a very good relationship. In fact, tomorrow, I'm introducing 2 new talent to Rachel who are incredible. And I think that there's a real... The talent I found and the potential for a video podcast is incredible. So we're going to have a meeting tomorrow, and we've been able to arrange that meeting within a few days. And so it really helps. It makes us feel like we have such a close relationship. We feel like, and this is really cheesy, I'm sorry, but we feel like we are part of the extended Spotify family. We do feel we can trust them. And at no point do we ever get told what to do with our content. And that's really, really different from TV because, of course, when we go in with an idea, we'll go in with a really clear idea of what we want. We're so passionate about it, and it completely goes the other way. And the commissioners end up driving it in a different direction that actually just doesn't feel unique to or authentic to the original idea that we went in with. So I think that's what's been really great for us.
Brilliant. Lots of the conversations this morning have touched on discovery and the challenge of algorithmic discovery. I always say to people, you can't take an algorithm out for lunch, which is perhaps the great curse of the music industry has found over the last 5 years. What's been your experience of discovery on Spotify compared to other platforms?
So we attend a lot of sort of online seminars that Spotify do. So they'll do how to, and really sort of layman's terms stuff, because as a creator and TV producer, it doesn't feel very natural to think about algorithms and social media clips and shorts and what to do here. But we get drip fed these tips that really help us. So for example, one of my favourite ones is on your Spotify profile, you can get your favourite episode and say a good place to start, and it will highlight the episode that maybe has had the most traction before or is relevant to that time. For example, that first clip that you played then, that was the man who just a few months ago killed Ian Huntley, in prison. But before that video had kind of gone under the radar a little bit. And then all of a sudden, people were like, who's Anthony Russell? Who's the guy that finished Ian Huntley? And that, we then put that as our good place to start, because people were searching his name. And we were the first one coming up. It wasn't ITV News. It wasn't the BBC. It was us from my little bedroom in Essex. So there we go.
Amazing. And I know you've been able to kind of flag episodes with a team, haven't you, as well, and to kind of be able to plug into our kind of content discovery kind of editorial work that I do as well, which has been great.
Yeah, it's been so helpful. So if we have something that we're particularly passionate about, or we think, God, this is a really important episode, because again, going back to the values, sometimes we're like, okay, this is really important. There's a public interest in this case. So what we'll do is I'll email Rachel or Rowan and say, just to let you know, we've got this episode coming out, and this is our rationale behind why we're doing it. This is why we feel like it's really important and would resonate with the Spotify viewers that we have. And sometimes we can get a banner on the homepage, for example, or we can be suggested under other podcasts. So if someone's listening to one of the bigger ones, like Bella Furies, who's a YouTuber who came over to Spotify, she's got a huge network, but she's also known for being an ethical true crime creator. So when people look at her content, they'll see underneath that our content is underneath, and it will encourage them to click on us. So it's been so helpful. We've never had anything like that from any other platform at all.
Brilliant. And I think going back to what I said in my presentation about we want users to feel good about the time they spend on Spotify, and I do think true crime is a complex beast, as you well know, but that form of ethical true crime, where it's kind of the focus is on storytelling and helping victims, as opposed to the kind of schlock and awe of some of them, is I think one of the reasons why your show has done so well with us. It's a really good thing to see. So this session is about making money in digital. So it would be rude of me not to talk about the kind of Spotify partner program, the monetisation. Programmatic advertising and monetisation platforms is notoriously opaque. What's your experience of Spotify been like?
I said this before, and I know you were like, I like this quote from you. So if I was to treat myself to a drink from the proceeds from Spotify video, it would be maybe a nice glass of Bollinger. If I was going to do it from YouTube, I'd be getting Glen's vodka from Tesco's. So it's a very, very different beast. We make a lot more, I think it's 100 times more actually a month on Spotify video than we do on YouTube. So we really appreciate that. We have found that it has steadily grown as well. So the more of a back catalogue that we get, the more it has grown. And what I really see, and I think which is really encouraging, is that you can sort of see when your content becomes part of someone's routine. So we release every Tuesday, and on Tuesday we get the biggest hit of downloads. And for someone that's now learned what that means, that's really good, because people are waiting for it. People are waiting for your episode to drop, and they're consuming it straight away. They can't wait. And you become part of their Tuesday routine, which is brilliant. So we've found that if we keep delivering and keep going, the money is going to continue to come up, because people have got us within their lifestyle.
Yeah, that's great. And our advice to creators is to always kind of publish on a regular basis. So that always on kind of weekly cadence for shows is so important, and it's very satisfying to hear creators come to us, not just yourself, but loads of people we work with, saying that that's the way to grow, really, and to grow both your audience and revenue. And for you guys, 3 million downloads, which is a pretty impressive size. And what we've talked as well about community, which I think is also really important in this space. You talked a bit about the community with around Totally True Crime.
Yeah, absolutely. So the feedback that we often get is, I've never heard this case before, or I like the way you pay tribute at the end. So people have got real identifying factors, and I speak at CrimeCon and lots of things like that, and I see other podcasts, and when we're at our stalls afterwards, and this is no shade on them, it's just an observation, there's often a line of people that want to talk to me about a particular case that has resonated with them, or they've said, I signed the petition that you plugged at the end of that episode, or I wrote to my MP because actually this loophole in the legal system that's really damaging survivors' families and victims' families has really annoyed me, and I want to do something about it. So I feel like we've got this really proactive core audience that come back because they feel like they're learning something, they're taking something away from each episode for the better. And of course, these stories, they're not nice stories. They're not nice. They're horrific. But if you tell them in a gentle way and you put the really important information first, which is what we try and do on Spotify from the very beginning, then I feel like we can't go wrong. And that goes back to what some of your previous speakers have said about really thinking about what your audience want. There are audiences that want the sensationalist clickbait, oh my God, scroll on, but they're not the type that will get the communities. The ones that get communities are the ones who message us or leave comments, and they want to have back and forth with us and sort of almost analyse what they've heard and how they can make the world a better place. So I don't feel I think we're doing a good thing.
Yeah, I think that's so important, and I think that's something which has come through in all the sessions this morning, whether you're doing gardening or football or true crime. Respect your community, right, and listen to your users. Yeah. So lots of people in this room will have been affected by the kind of rapidly changing television market in the last kind of 2 or 3 years, and what is now a kind of very different business to kind of work in than when, like, you and I started. From your experience at Curve and doing this show with Spotify, what would be your advice to them?
So if you can convince your TV peers to do something in digital, I can't see that it could ever be a bad thing. We've had to adapt. We're not getting as many pitch meetings as we used to. We're not satisfying the board that we need to satisfy. So what we're doing is we're experimenting. And at Curve, we've got Totally True Crime. We've also got currently it's audio only, but it is moving to, we are doing it on Spotify video. It's The Affair with Anna Williamson. Quite different, still scandalous, but it's basically people talking about their affairs anonymously. If you think of it as a confession booth, if you will. So it's Anna Williamson from the Luana podcast and Celebs Go Dating, and we get contributors on and they come and tell us about their affairs, whether they are the person having the affair, the mistress or mister, or the victim in the affair. And what we've done there is we've created a really big community. So we are now talking to several people about that as a factual drama. So that's almost on the line. And actually, just to say, Totally True Crime as well is currently being considered by a few streamers to put on to their platforms as well. And if the money's right, maybe we'll get it. But if not, until then, we're solely on Spotify.
Right. So again, like we've heard with Alan Titchmarsh before, another case where something which has started as kind of digital IP is now being considered for linear distribution, which I think is fantastic. And if people in this room haven't added their video to Spotify, what would you say to them?
You're missing out massively. We would not. We've got 3 people: myself, a social media girl, and someone who helps me edit the shows. The 3 of us have jobs because we repurposed the content that we already had and put it on Spotify video. If we hadn't, we wouldn't be doing it, and it's as simple as that.
Excellent. That's what I like to hear. Look, thank you so much for joining us, Naomi. I said before, I feel this is like when Sabrina Carpenter brought Madonna out at Coachella this weekend.
I was going to wear what she was wearing as well, actually.
I was as well, so you're lucky. But it's instantly lifted the session up to a whole new level. So obviously we can perform a Vogue in a minute, in the last minute.
Oh, please, yes.
Where can people find you on social and find the show?
So just search Totally True Crime wherever you get your podcasts.
Brilliant.
But Spotify video, if preferable.
Brilliant. Thank you all for listening. Any questions, the Spotify team will be around after Steve's session, which is also on podcasting, be around after lunch. So do come and find us and say hello. Thank you very much. Naomi Channell.